Have you ever thought about the hidden structure of the language you use every day? The secret tools that you use to build sentences without even thinking about it? Well, today we're pulling back the curtain on two of the most important ones, pronouns and determiners. Okay, just take a look at this sentence. Try reading it out loud. John said John's car, so John took the car. It's just clunky, right? It's so repetitive. Honestly, nobody actually talks like this. It almost makes our language seem broken. But of course it's not.
So how do we fix a mess like that? How does English automatically clean up that kind of repetition? Well, turns out it has a couple of master tools in its toolkit, and they're designed for exactly this kind of job.
And here they are, pronouns and determiners. You could call them the unsung heroes of clear communication. They're always working behind the scenes, making our sentences smooth, efficient, and, actually understandable. So let's break down what they do.
First up, we've got the pronoun. The easiest way to think about a pronoun is as a noun replacer. That's its whole job. It just steps in to take the place of a noun so we don't have to keep saying John, John, John over and over again. It's kind of like a substitute player that makes the whole game run way more smoothly.
And then we have the determiner. Now, this one's different. It's the noun guide. It doesn't replace the noun. Instead, it stands right in front of it like a little signpost, telling us important info like which one, or how many, or whose. It gives the noun some much-needed precision.
Okay, so this is probably the most important thing to get. It's all about location, location, location. Take a look at the word this. In that first example, this is great. The word this is totally on its own. It's replacing a noun, so it's a pronoun. But in the second one, this idea is great. It's standing right in front of the noun idea. See that? Now it's a determiner. It's the exact same word, but it's doing two completely different jobs. So let's zoom in on pronouns for a second. As these awesome noun replacers, they can actually play a few different roles, and it all depends on where they show up in a sentence. And here are the two main roles. A pronoun can be the subject, the one doing the action, like in she lives in London. Or it can be the object, the one receiving the action, like in I met her. And notice how the word actually changes from she to her. The word itself tells you exactly what its job is. How cool is that? Pronouns can also show ownership. We're talking about words like mine, yours, or hers. Now, the key thing to remember here is that these guys stand alone. In the sentence, that book is mine. The word mine does the entire job all by itself. It's a complete package. Okay, time to switch gears and look at the other tool in our kit, determiners. And remember, these aren't the replacers. These are the guides that work with a noun to give it more clarity and detail. And here's where you can see that difference crystal clear. Unlike the possessive pronoun hers, the possessive determiner her has to be followed by a noun. I mean, you can't just say her is innovative, right? You have to say her idea. This word is a team player. It needs a noun to work with. Okay, this is where it gets really interesting and maybe a little mind-bending. Some words in English are basically grammar chameleons. They can actually switch their function from pronoun to determiner, and it all depends on the words you put around them. Let's take the word whose. In this question, whose is this? The word is standing in for something else, right? Like whose jacket or whose bag. Because it's replacing the noun, it's acting as a pronoun. But look what happens now. The second we add the noun jacket, the job of whose completely changes. It's not replacing anything anymore. Now it's guiding the noun jacket. It's telling us which jacket we're talking about. So it's become a determiner. It really is all about context. All right, you've got the fundamentals down. So now let's look at a few pro-level moves. These are those little subtleties that can really take your command of the language from just proficient to, well, masterful. Oh, this is a fantastic example. The simple act of adding or removing the word the, which is a type of determiner, completely changes the meaning. If you say someone is in hospital, that means they're a patient. They're there for the institution's purpose. But if they're at the hospital, they're just a visitor at a physical building. That tiny little word carries a massive amount of context. Now, what about the word each? Well, this determiner forces you to think about the members of a group as individuals. When you say each student, you can almost picture the certificates being handed out one by one by one. It really emphasizes that individual action. But if we swap that out for every, the focus totally shifts.
every student makes us see the group as a single, complete unit. The meaning is that all of them, the whole bunch, received one. The action happened to the collective. It's a really subtle but powerful shift in perspective.
And finally, sometimes pronouns are just there to add a little punch. Adding himself here doesn't really change the basic meaning of the sentence. What it does is add stress. It's telling you this wasn't just anybody signing, it was the big boss in person. It's a great little tool for adding importance.
So let's bring this all together. I mean, why does any of this stuff actually matter? Well, because mastering these tools isn't just about passing a grammar test. It's really about gaining power and precision in the way you communicate.
Just look at the transformation here. We go from something that's repetitive and awkward to something smooth and professional. John likes his car. The team likes its new office. By using the right pronoun or determiner, the sentence just becomes instantly clearer and, frankly, more elegant.
And that really is the main takeaway. These aren't just some abstract rules you have to memorize. They are practical, powerful tools. When you understand how they work, you get to have conscious control over your clarity, your style, and the impact your words have on other people.
So the next time you're writing an email or maybe giving a presentation, start paying attention to this invisible architecture. Notice how you use these tools to replace, to guide, and to emphasize. Because once you see them, you can start using them with real purpose. So the question is, what are you going to build?